Okay, guys, so there's a lot of news this week. Anthony Joshua versus Eric Molina, Dillian White versus Derek Chisora, and then obviously the rest of the undercard, December 10th. It's shaping up to be, they're trying to stack the sort of undercard with a few decent fights here and there, a few world title fights, a few world title eliminators, British title fights, etc. So let's kind of run down the card and or work our way up to the main event and discuss, every pretty much all the fights in sort of in brief, I guess, or add some sort of analysis over it. Let's start with kind of Scott Quigg returning at featherweight. He's returning obviously at a higher weight class. He's looking for the big fights, he says. So yeah, I mean, let's kind of see where he goes from here. I mean, obviously he's looking for the Carlhampton rematch. That'll both make them mega money. Probably be on Sky pay per view again, even though the fight wasn't, you know, probably. I wouldn't say it was brilliant, but I wouldn't say it was terrible either. I mean, the last couple of rounds did take off, so maybe if it can kind of go after, it can lead on from that fight, from the end of the fight, it might be decent. But from the start of the fight, that was pretty boring. So hopefully that's a rematch that comes across very very soon. But at the moment it's unlikely. Obviously Scott Quigg's coming back from a broken jaw, so he's probably going to need a few tune-up fights, and once he does that, he should be all right. But as I said, it's hard to see where he fits in at the featherweight picture. I mean, could he win a world title? At the moment, I don't think so. The featherweight champions are quite strong, actually. To be fair, Gary Russell Jr. I think he's supposed to be moving up very soon, but he holds a version of a world title WBC, WBO. Oscar Valdez looks a real prospect. Lee Selby, he holds the IBF, very skilled operator, and Carl Frampton obviously holds the WBA world title, and he's facing Leo Santa Cruz in a rematch. Obviously, WBA regular is held by Jesus Cuellar. He's facing Amner Mares December 10th, I think, as well, actually. So, or it might be sometime in December, but they're definitely squaring off in December. So, could he could probably pick up a regular version of the WBA belt, but in terms of, picking up a proper world title, it looks a bit tough for him. Callum Smith. Callum Smith facing Luke Blackledge. Blackledge looked pretty bad in his last fight. He got dropped hard by a journeyman, a very bad journeyman at that 7-52. I think his record was. So yeah, I expect Callum Smith to do a real number on him and probably KO him quite early. I think it's for the British and Commonwealth title. I'm not sure because I know Luke Blackledge holds the Commonwealth belt. I'm not sure if it's up for grabs, but yeah, I'd expect it. I know it's for the British, but I'd expect it to be for the Commonwealth as well. But I expect Callum Smith for the easy win there. Yafai versus Luis Concepcion. This is probably the most interesting fight on the card. Real 50-50. This is a serious 50-50 match at super flyweight. WBA world title on the line. Obviously Yafai is probably supposed to fight. Koei Kono. Obviously he lost his belt to Concepcion. He was supposed to probably fight in October on the Frankie Gavin, Sam Eglinton bill. Obviously, they couldn't get it done, so not enough time from Concepcion's win over Kono. So they've obviously, forwarded the date to December 10th. But I don't know. Loads of people are split on this fight. Loads of people are saying Concepcion will probably win this fight. Bit more experience. He punches really hard. He's had that sort of big fight experience against the top guys, a world level experience. Kaliafai is not ready yet. But Kaliafai isn't a spring chicken either, So and he's had a decent amateur background, and yeah, I think he's a really top prospect in UK in terms of just talent. I think he's really good. I think he's overlooked by a lot of sort of even hardcore fans because he's always injured or he's not promoted very heavily. But I think he's got some real good skills, and I think he's a really big puncher. He looks like, but obviously at a certain level. And I think Kaliafai is actually going to win this fight. I'm going to pick him to win this fight. He's probably the underdog, quite heavy underdog, I'd assume. But I'm going to pick Kaliafai to win this fight. I think he might he might stop Concepcion late. I think Concepcion he hasn't been stopped, but I think he's been hurt in fights from what I've seen. So I'm going to pick Yafai by late stoppage. I wouldn't be surprised by points, but I'm going to go with late stoppage and kind of stick my neck out on that. But Yafai to win a world title and get another British world champion there. Derek Chisora versus Dillian Whyte. That's a WBC world title eliminator, not a final eliminator, but whoever wins this fight kind of moves up in the rankings to face Deontay Wilder or the interim champion Povetkin Stavern winner. So I think Dillian Whyte wins this fight quite handily for me. Dillian Whyte, I wouldn't say he's a superb boxer or anything. I know he's changed his style, but Derek Chisora I think is shot to bits. I think Derek in his last fight against Pulev, he really, really, really looked bad. He just looked terrible in the fight. And I think that was kind of the end for Derek Chisora. I think at the top level, if he could beat someone like a Kubrat Pulev, he would definitely be in the top 10. But, he really, really struggled with Kubrat Pulev's jab. I wouldn't say his movement because he wasn't really moving much, but, definitely his jab and just the distance I think he really struggled with. And I think Dillian Whyte, although he's not at the Kubrat Pulev level, I think he's definitely got it more than enough to deal with someone like Derek Chisora, especially at Derek Chisora's advanced age. And he's had a lot of wars. He's taken a lot of beatings. Vitaly Klitschko, David Haye was a brutal knockout. Kubrat Pulev was a sustained sort of 12-round mauling. So I think for me, Derek Chisora can't win this fight. I mean, if he turns up like the Edmund Gerber fight, the Malik Scott fight, those sort of fights, maybe he's got a chance, but I can't see that, especially at this stage in Derek's career. And it's a bit of a shame, but I think Dillian Whyte's going to win this fight. Dillian Whyte will move on, obviously, to sort of fringe European level, maybe European level, and then obviously he's got the sort of Kubrat Pulevs to live with, and then obviously the kind of fringe Euro guys, Dimitrenko, those sort of guys, Fedosov, and maybe Ustinov, those sort of guys he can face. But I expect Dillian Whyte to win this and win it, with a bit of ease. To be fair, I think maybe 8-4, 9-3, something like that would be my kind of scorecard for that. Anthony Joshua versus Eric Molina. Sorry, that's not a fight I'm interested in, but expect Anthony Joshua to probably win in 6 rounds. Eric Molina can cause a problem or two, maybe to the body. He's a good body puncher, and he's improved slightly since the Deontay Wilder loss, but I'm not really keen on Eric Molina. Obviously, it's a good learning fight, but Molina, I don't think he's going to really cause Anthony Joshua the problems that the other top heavyweights will. Molina's a top 30 heavyweight. Maybe if there's a Kubrat Pulev, he's a top 10 heavyweight. So even a Joseph Parker's a top 10, top 15 heavyweight. So I don't think it's a competitive fight as such, but it is what it is. Maybe Molina will be relatively durable and he'll take him rounds. Obviously he lost to Wilder within 10, I'd say. Obviously that was the result. So you never know. Does Anthony Joshua punch harder than Deontay Wilder? That's up for you guys to decide. Obviously he's not faced at the level. Well, it depends. People compare Deontay Wilder's resume to Anthony Joshua's resume, so depends. You guys leave comments in the comment section. That's another story for another day, I guess. So yeah, I mean, as I said, Joshua within 6 for me. It's not a pay-per-view sort of bill or fight, but it is what it is, and Eddie Hearn is just going to push Joshua as a pay-per-view attraction, which is a bit of a shame, and it's robbing the fans of their money. And obviously people go into the fight. It's more expensive tickets, most likely. Obviously, then you get StubHub and all that. So it's a bit of a shame, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's kind of my rundown on the card. Slightly longer one, kind of detailed all the fights. I know there are some other fights probably on the card as well, but if I missed them, I will try and cover them separately. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. Interested to hear everyone else's thoughts. I know I haven't been on YouTube for a while, but I'm back trying to make some videos. I've got some more in the pipeline. Lomachenko Walters, the Rin and Whiteface Corrales. So I've got loads of stuff in the pipeline. Stay tuned. Share this and on your social media. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. And yeah, take care, guys. Speak to you soon. Peace.